Hello there, guys. Welcome back to Blues Fans TV for yet another Premier League live match review by myself as Chelsea went to Goodison Park to Everton and lost 1-0 with a dreadful performance all round. Honestly, a dreadful performance from start to finish. Nothing was happening, no creativity. It started off badly when we saw the lineup because Christian Pulisic wasn't even in the bloody squad. Honestly, this couldn't have gone any worse. This really couldn't have gone any worse. I'd like to talk, says it really was the German horror show. I'm not going to jump on the bandwagon and call them both flops. I'm especially going to be a bit more easy on Havertz, whether his age, because of the illness he had recently. But generally, the team was just poor. Reece James, Mason Mount, maybe. Kovacic to some extent, but not enough. Tried, but especially Reece James tried everything. Tried to win it by himself, basically, and then that Mason Mount in the second half as well. But everyone else pretty much shocking. And it's honestly infuriating. Honestly, Werner didn't play bad, mate. You are off your head. You need to get this out of your brain. He barely touched the ball. And you can't, honestly, sorry guys, but Werner was shocking. They're all out bloody shocking. What did someone say? Movie. But yeah, guys, be sure to subscribe to Blues Fans TV if you're new here. That would be massively appreciated. Smash a like on this video if you want to cheer me up at least, because that was bloody awful. That was honestly bloody awful, and I could do with some cheering up. So please do subscribe, and also check out my own personal channel, to which the link is down in the description. I'll do another more in-depth analysis of that game over there tomorrow afternoon. So be sure you're around for that. You tune in for that. That'd be massively appreciated. And just quickly, let me shout out our sponsors before I get to what you guys have put into the chat, including the super chat. But do get Football Manager 21 with the link down in the description and get 10% off using the code BluesFansTV. And also, if you want to order any of the new Chelsea kits, make sure you use the other link down in the description below and use our promo code BAG30 for 30% off. But now we're getting into that, and we're starting it off with the £2 donation by Fantasy PGA Tour, saying Kante and James the only positives. I strongly disagree on Kante. He got better, but defensively, I know Kante has to do a really, really difficult job, but he didn't do it well today. We were hit so many times on a counter. Well, he stopped every time against Leeds. He never stopped it once today. And he had too many misplaced passes as well. But I appreciate the donation, bro. I really, really do. But yeah, like I said, let's talk about what did you want Werner to do? His one-man team. The entire team was awful. Yeah, of course, but the same goes for Havertz. But let me get the lineup up. Let me start with that. So that was the team we had. Christian Pulisic wasn't even in the squad, which from Frank Lampard's press conference on Thursday was made to sound very, very different. Now, what Frank said was after the Leeds game, Pulisic felt an awareness in his hamstring, but trained as normal all week, was even on the bench against Krasnodar, and Frank even said if the game had any importance to it, he probably would have even featured in that. And now to not even be in the squad today and to say, oh, we shouldn't risk him, we can't risk him, and he felt another awareness, is weird. Is weird to me. I understand that, of course, in the Champions League you have more substitutions than in the Premier League, because in the Champions League we have 12 and in the Premier League we only have 7. So that's obviously a big difference. Or was it 9 in the Champions League? Either way, more substitutions. So there is that. But you saw that today. Honestly, you saw it from top to bottom that we didn't have a proper winger on the field. We didn't have a proper winger on the field. The only way we tried to score today from open play, of course, we had set pieces, but from open play was crosses by Reece James from the right. We did nothing else to create chances. Honestly, no one was there to go into 1v1 situations. Not Werner, not Havertz, not Mount, not Kovacic, no one. From the left, Chilwell had an off day. Werner was moving left, right, and centre, so Chilwell was kind of exposed constantly in the left. He had to cover the entire defensive left side and the entire offensive left side, because even Mount drifted quite far in from his left centre midfield spot, hence why Chilwell looked a bit more exposed in the second half. It was honestly a nightmare from top to bottom. It really, really wasn't. The game started awfully badly. The game really, really started awfully badly. It started off with, we had a corner. Mason Mount tried to play it to Reece James at the edge of the box. It got intercepted. Reece James still got the end of it, played it back to Mount. Mount was offside. Then we had awful touches by Timo Werner, awful touches by Havertz. We had Kante passing the ball out of play because just really poor passes twice. And this all happened within the first 10-15 minutes. And then in the 22nd minute, Edouard Mendy sadly makes another mistake. Already made one last week. But when I say this, I don't mean, oh, look at how bad he is. I'm just a bit worried. And this is what I said after the early signs of him. I'm like, I really hope that he is just this good. And it isn't just like an early hype, kind of the opposite of what Havertz is experiencing right now, where they're not so good at the start, but will definitely come good. So I'm just a bit worried about that. I don't think it will be the case because he's still a brilliant goalkeeper, in my opinion. But it was another mistake. He came out for the ball. Calvert-Lewin gave it a little touch. That means Mendy couldn't get there with his hands, and then he just clattered into him, brought him down, and it was a clear penalty. Sigurdsson stepped up. Mendy went in the wrong corner, and we were 1-0 down. And after that, yes, we got better. We absolutely got better after that. We started to create a few things. Reece James had a free kick that was saved really well by Jordan Pickford, and then from the following corner, Reece James ended up having a wonderful strike from outside the box that, after a minor deflection, hit the inside of the post and almost went in from there, basically, but went out for another corner because, like I said, it took a deflection. And we had a couple of moments. There was one ball that Werner received in the box, but he just didn't shoot. He took a touch and then waited. It just didn't shoot. And other than that, I can't really remember much that we had in the first half, in all honesty. Maybe I'm forgetting about something, but I honestly can't remember anything. If I'm honest, I really can't. And then we go into the second half, and the first few minutes are better. Havertz goes past two people, has a shot that gets blocked, and we end up in a counter-attack. Nothing happens from it because Mendy makes a good save, but at the end of the day, it still didn't work out. Oh, no. The worst moment that really made me angry at Timo Werner, and I know you guys hated that I'm so critical of Timo Werner, but you need to listen to me and you need to think about what I'm trying to tell you right now. A ball was played into the box by Reece James just before half-time. Olivier Giroud is trying his absolute best in a wrestling fight with Yerry Mina in the middle of the box. No foul either way, no penalty. I'm not asking for that. But Timo Werner is right behind him, 1 or 2 yards right behind him. And the ball literally would have fallen there. Literally would have fallen right where he was. And as the ball comes in, he takes 2 steps backwards, like as in away from the goal. How can you be a professional footballer at this level and misjudge the flight of the ball so badly that you are actually in the right position to head the ball? The ball literally would have landed right on his head. It would have literally landed right there. It was just behind Giroud. But instead, he moved 2 steps away from the goal. Literally just steps away from the goal, and the ball just falls right to the defender. He was right there. I'm not even saying he has to score it, but he has to be there. I expect my striker to be able to judge the flight of the ball. It wasn't even an extremely hard whipped cross. It didn't have crazy amount of pace on it. It didn't have a deflection on it. There is no excuse for Werner to move out there. And yes, I'm picking on one individual moment, but that individual moment just made me really, really angry. I'm sorry if it pisses you guys off, but it really, how can you move away when you were in the right position? He wasn't offside. He wasn't doing anything wrong. It was positioned perfectly, and he walks away. Infuriating to me. Anyways, second half, very early, we have a moment where a ball comes into the box. Pickford comes out, punches it, and it falls to Mason Mount. And Pickford isn't yet in goal. And Mount kind of tries to lob it into the goal, but sadly overhits it. And honestly, Mount has to score that. He's good enough to do something with that and choose out. Sorry, a bit of a sore finger touched my table. And he's good enough to do that. Should have put that in. He honestly should. And Jerome, yes, of course. I'm not sure if you're talking to me, but of course the whole team was a disaster. I'm getting to everybody. Trust me, absolutely trust me. But I had to put someone in title, right? That's sadly how YouTube works. Any which way. And sadly, football entertainment kind of don't. We kind of don't at the moment, which is kind of the problem. I disagree that Mount wasn't good today. I'm not saying he was brilliant, but at least he worked hard and tried, which I couldn't say for Giroud at times, but it just was working. I couldn't say that for Havertz. I couldn't say that for Timo Werner. Kovacic is in there. At least Reece James and Mount, I was like, yes, you boys are at least properly trying, even if, it wasn't quite happening for Mount. But at least Mount had a free kick in the second half. Had the one ready, put it over the goal, which he should have done better with. But then he had a free kick late on, which he hit against the post. Also tried to go for the goalkeeper corner. Hits against the post, beats Pickford. Incredible free kick, hits the bottom side of the post. Honestly, infuriating. What? Pressing? I don't know what you're talking about, Louis Hansen. It's Johannes saying, hey, mate, Werner doesn't even know how to position himself anymore because he's always playing out of position. He's not a winger, mate. He played this position for the large majority of last season at Leipzig. I know he's not a winger, But would you have wanted him in the box today when all we were doing is whipping crosses? Do you think he would have done better there? You people need to think about what you're saying. Do you want him as a 5'11" striker in the middle when all we're doing is cross the ball because we don't have any creative players to play passes, and Everton set so deep and defended so well that we couldn't find any ways through other than crosses by Reece James? So what do you do with Timo Werner in the middle? The other option is don't play Timo Werner. Unlucky, Callum Hudson-Odoi is injured, Ziyech is injured, Pulisic is injured. So you have to play Timo Werner on the wing. So stop giving me this crap of Timo Werner's playing on the wing. That's why this excuse, that excuse, this excuse. Absolute horse crap. Absolute horse crap. It is outrageous. This is outrageous. And yes, David Jefferson, exactly what Heffernan, my bad. This will bite us later in the season, dropping points. I know. I said we need to risk. I said we need to risk Pulisic, and obviously, if Frank says he isn't ready and it was too risky, fair enough. You know, I don't know that. I'm not there. I can't judge that. But I said all along, we can't afford to like just rest players for the sake of it. So if Pulisic was fit today, he should have played. And there was no like, oh, rest him, be safe for the season. No, because we dropped the points now. We dropped the points now. If we want to fight for the title, right? And I want to, because I think we're capable of it. We've already had 4 not our day games this year. Liverpool, if Christensen doesn't get sent off, we get something out of that. I'm not saying we win, but we get at least a point. It means Liverpool 2 points this as well. Southampton at home, West Brom away, and now this. This happens too much. And I will get to Havertz. Because Everton were actually even awarded another penalty in the second half. Thankfully, Calvert-Lewin was about this much offside. But Ben Chilwell was just ridiculous. Ridiculous tackle on Calvert-Lewin. Just with his arms first into his face. What are you doing? But to excuse Chilwell here, he was made to push all the way forward, all the bloody way, because Werner was never on the left wing. He was made to push all the way forward. Mount wasn't covering him to almost cover that gap, or Kante wasn't covering it either to cover the gap that the left back spaced open. Chilwell went on a sprint, on a 70-yard sprint back to try and save it, and it brings him down. Of course, we were in the end saved. Obviously, by it being offside. But Everton had other moments on the counter that they could have done a lot with, and we really had nothing. Olivier Giroud had a difficult shot. I'm not going to blame him on his weaker right foot as well. Do excuse me. Had a shot from the right, crossing from the right that came in for a volley height of him, and he smashed it over the goal. But let's talk through the team. Because. Oh yeah, we made substitutions. Tammy Abraham came on for Havertz in the end because again we had, other than Tino Andrin, we had no one on the bench that we could bring on up front. Did that do much? I mean, I thought Tammy wasn't even all that bad whenever he did touch the ball. Didn't touch it much, but whenever he did, I thought it was decent enough considering he's played out of position. And unlike Werner Abraham actually can't play on the left, and he still tried his socks off. And no. People say Kyle Heiss is saying Lampard was never good enough just because we lost one game is outrageous. That was our first defeat in 17 games, and people were talking Lampard not good enough. No. Get in the bin. I'm not sure whether Pulisic could have played. You know, Michael, you said that to me via DM. I don't know you well enough to like believe your sources yet. And maybe he could have played. I don't know whether he could have started. Maybe he could have come off the bench. But to be honest, if he only wanted to come off the bench, I don't think it would have been enough anyway. Even if he comes on, maybe he would get an equaliser, which, yeah, is better, but still not enough. You know, at the end of the day, if we want to fight for the title, we need 3 points at the end of the story. And no, I don't have a Werner agenda. You people need to stop giving him excuses. And everyone's slating Kai Havertz left, right, and centre. Mate, I'll tell you a little story about Kai Havertz. The guy left Leverkusen. First of all, he's 21. He's 3 years younger than Timo Werner. Big difference. I'm not sure how old you guys are, but it's a big difference whether you're 21 or 24. And he moves away from his boyhood club where he's been at for 11 years. This is a big step, right? This is a much bigger deal than Timo Werner, who when he was 17, 18, 19, I don't remember how old he was, went from Stuttgart to Leipzig. He has already experienced this. This isn't the first time. You know, it's not just different country, different league. It's also, you move away from where you grew up, right? This is a big deal. You can't just do that. And he had obviously the one certain illness that hits you hard. He even says now he says now he's at 100%, but of course he's going to say that. If he says he isn't, he won't be played, and of course he wants to be played. So I'm less harsh on him, but that doesn't mean that Havertz wasn't awful today. And the big difference, I think, that really pissed me off with Havertz more today than other times, honestly, that really pissed me off more with him than other times, is that he didn't seem to try a bit better at the start of the second half, I will say. But in general, especially in the first half, he didn't seem to try. He received the ball, maybe had a small look, a small glance forwards, didn't see an easy pass, didn't see an easy run, passed it backwards. Easy pass, easy pass. Of course, we're never going to break anyone down if you just pass the ball backwards. And that was poor from him. That was honestly shocking. But then again, people be telling me, Timo Werner isn't a left winger. Havertz isn't a bloody right winger. I know he played it for Leverkusen, but first of all, the system that Leverkusen played was entirely bloody different. You can't just say right wing is right wing. Absolutely not. It was more of a right midway, came central and played kind of a right number 8 because, the fullback was a bit different and then the striker played out wide. Different system. Can't compare it at all. So if Werner gets the excuse, he isn't a winger, then why isn't bloody Havertz getting in? Which is outrageous to me. It's just absolutely bloody outrageous. But let's talk through the team. Let's talk through the performances. Again, let me get the lineup up. Mendy in goal. Couple of good saves, but shocker for the goal. For the penalty, shouldn't give that away. If that doesn't happen, maybe at least we take a point away from the game. Maybe Everton knows it's or Timo, we find it easier to create something later in the game if we don't go 1-0 down. So even though I called it a German horror show, you could say Mendy messed up more than anyone else today. So that's a tough one. Zuma was brilliant. Thiago Silva was good, bar one mistake, which I don't remember who had to make up for it, but he had a mistake where Everton had a good chance from. But Zuma was good. Reece James, by far our best player, honestly. He literally carried the entire team, especially in the first half. Second half, he slowed down a bit as well. But the man was on the right. He had a shot that hit the post all the way to the left. He was winning balls. He was dribbling. He was doing bloody everything. Even almost getting himself sent off with a rash tackle on Allen. Ben Chilwell had a poorer game today. But again, Ben Chilwell's job is so much more difficult than Reece James's in that sense because whoever is on the right wing stays there. Werner goes to the centre. Werner sometimes goes to the right. Mason Mount moves around a lot as well. That means Ben Chilwell has to cover the entirety of the left side just by himself, right? Big difference. Big difference. And it's also ahead of the slower centre-back in Thiago Silva compared to Kurt Zuma. So as much as Ben Chilwell wasn't brilliant today, and I will get to what you guys have put into the chat again in a little bit, just hold up. And by the way, guys, if you're watching this right now, please be sure to subscribe to Blues Fans TV, smash the like button, and subscribe to my personal channel, to which link is down in the description, and even more in-depth analysis on this game tomorrow afternoon over there. Any which way, Kante, not awful, right? Don't get me wrong. I don't think it was like shocking, but still not good enough. And like I said in the intro already, almost, N'Golo Kante has a very, very difficult job to do, playing as a lone DM. This is incredibly difficult. That's why very few teams use that, because it's so difficult to actually pull off, right? And it's so difficult to be everywhere because if the opponent attack well, you can't be everywhere. It's a difficult one. Against Leeds last week, he managed it and was everywhere and intercepted everything, right? Everything. And today he didn't quite do that, and he had too many misplaced passes, in my personal opinion. But he didn't manage to cover it all. And of course, when we don't manage to stop attacks, we always go back all the way to the keeper. We have a goal kick. They have a corner. Point is, they can settle themselves. They always get back in their low block of 2 4s, or, well, a 4 and a 5 almost, and make it incredibly difficult to attack. If a team sits really deep and you want to break them down, what you need to do is win the ball back as high up the pitch as possible while they're in the forward movement, because then there are gaps. And we didn't do that enough today. The press wasn't good enough by no one. And I'm not having it by anyone. The press wasn't good enough by anyone. We also, in my opinion, that was wrong by Lampard. We didn't press high enough. There was parts in the first half, especially, we didn't even try to win the ball back before they entered our half. And, I guess the further they come out, if we win the ball back, the less structured and the less tight they are. I understand that. But still, if they try to transition, win the ball back, and you attack them. And that's what we didn't do enough of today. Kovacic did 15 back heels and only about 2 of them came off. Lampard has no system is an outrageous statement by itself. But Kovacic, he tried. And he had a couple of good dribbles. But he back-heeled the ball to the opponent or not hard enough to his teammate. So many times, it pissed me the hell off. I'm telling you guys, it pissed me off. And I'm not even saying he was awful, but he didn't have any decisive passes forward, so I'm not having anyone tell me, Kovacic was great. Kovacic didn't create any chance. I didn't have any chance. He had 1 cross, and that was an awful cross, right? Mason Mount at least had a couple of good set pieces, not incredible, but Everton was good at defending those, let's not forget. And he had a great free kick that at least hit the post. But Kovacic didn't do nothing of the sort. I'm not saying he was like shambolic, right? He didn't do everything wrong. But bloody hell, no, it wasn't good. And Timo Werner, I'm telling you, difficult game for him. And I'm not even saying, it was the shock of the century. I'm not expecting him to score 3 goals in this game. But what I am expecting of him is to make himself available more. That's what he didn't do. And that was bloody infuriating. Later on in the game, he started to come deep to receive the ball, helping the build up, finally. And that's when we started to have a couple more moments. It was probably the one time we had a decent opportunity to cross the ball for Giroud. But then sadly, Reece James messed up the cross. Was when Werner dropped deep. It made us move quicker. There was open space to open up because the defender came with him, pulled them, stretched them. And that's when we find it at the moment. But that's where it comes into it. Someone says here, Reece James had bad crossing. See, that's the problem when all you do from open play is try to cross the ball. Crossing is so much more, crossing right onto someone. You know, a cross goes over 30, 40, 50 yards, while a pass is usually 10, 20, maximum 30 yards, right? It's so much more difficult to get a cross right, in full sprint, with the right whip, with the right power. It's so difficult. The fact that people say Reece James is a back crossing, Reece James probably after Kevin De Bruyne, the best crosser of the ball in the world at the moment. Okay, it's a bit of an over-exaggeration, but you get what I'm saying. And that was the only time we had a bit of space, and sadly he messed up the cross there. But that's the problem. When you only go for crosses, they can't go right every time. It's impossible. But we didn't have, and I'm not even saying, oh, Frank's at fault for that. That's the problem when we don't have Ziyech, when we don't have Pulisic, when we don't have Hudson-Odoi, when we don't have people to go into a 1v1, when we don't have people to play those incredible passes. That's the problem. That's absolutely the problem. But yeah, Werner, I think he didn't make himself available enough. And too many times when he did have the ball, he lost it straight away. He lost it. There was, in the first half, I can't remember by what minute, but at some point, my commentator said he had 3 touches. Twice he lost it. Once waiting too long to actually shoot in the box. Once he had a decent run, played it to Havertz, and then Havertz messed it up. That wasn't good enough. I'm not having it by anybody. Werner wasn't good enough. Werner needs to do more. We signed him to score our goals. And then he had that moment where he's in the right position and should score. And then he moves out the way and doesn't even get the ball. It's outrageous. Giroud, not good. Not good. Lost pretty much every header against Jeremy. Was physically completely outmuscled today. Pretty much every flick, every piece of link-up play he tried, pretty much all of them failed. And the worst moment was, in my opinion, in the second half when we actually tried to had a transition moment. He had the ball, had Werner sprinting down the right after Tammy had come on. And he could have tried to play the pass fair enough. Giroud, not exactly the best pass of the ball. And it was on his weaker right foot, so I get why he didn't. Then he stops, kind of loses the ball. And then the referee, no, not necessarily the referee, but the referee's kind of in his way. And then Giroud loses out on the ball by 100, Touré probably. That was at least twice as far from the ball as Giroud was. Giroud literally stopped and turned like a bloody train on ice. I've never seen anyone move this slowly. And this is typical to Oliver Giroud. I'm not saying he was absolutely awful, but he was poor. No, actually, he was absolutely awful. What am I saying? He was absolutely awful. Bloody was. And this is typical Oliver Giroud. The moment he wins this number 9 spot back from Tammy Abraham, who had it for the start of the season, the moment Giroud wins it back with a few good performances, an amazing performance in Sevilla, at Sevilla, and a good performance against Leeds, the way he wins it back, especially with Tammy playing poorly against Krasnodar, Giroud turns out with shocker. This is Oliver Giroud's career summed up. Club career summed up. It's typical Oli. Typical. I love the man as a man, but as a footballer, this is awful. No, it's not. Mina at Giroud's lunch, yeah, honestly, he did. Annihilated him. And then Kai Havertz. I said already, too scared, no confidence, not trying anything. And then he cheated a few times in the second half, came off once, had a shot, got blocked. And then he tried a few weird things where he tried to go past people and just laid the ball forward and wasn't anyone near it. Like, it just got intercepted every time. It was poor. Honestly, it was poor. So you're asking a striker playing on the wing to do Mount and Kovacic's job of coming deep and progress? No, Fabian, this is not what I'm saying at all. I'm not saying come deep. I'm saying move around, make yourself available. Every striker in the bloody world does that. Every wing in the bloody world does that. Whether it was Hazard, whether it's Pulisic, whether it's Messi, whether it's Hazard. Like, every winger does that. If they don't get on the ball because they're constantly blocked by someone and they want to influence the game, they actually drop to try to get involved. That's what you do. That's how football works. You know? That's how it works. What was the point in, like, you can say, oh, I'm asking him to come deep and do Mount and Kovacic's job. Yeah, but what was Werner's job then? Is his job, if Mount and Kovacic don't get the ball to him, is his job just to wait and do nothing all game? Don't think so. Don't quite think so. Don't quite think so. When is Chelsea going to win a big game? Well, we beat Sevilla 4-0. Well, I think it's a big game in my opinion. Signing off. Great analysis again, mate. Keep your heads up. Cheers, Michael. Have a good day. Why does Lampard make his sub so late? Now, this is true, so... But today you kind of have to let him off because we didn't actually have any attacking subs available today. Yeah, we brought Tammy Abraham on, but we brought him on for Havertz and played Tammy Abraham on the wing. So you understand why he didn't necessarily even want to do that. You have to really accept that, really. Don't you? I think you do. And yeah, he could have brought on Andrew in. I would have brought on Andrew in if I was him because nothing was working. So you might as well have tried. I would have brought Andrew in on for Timo, but hey, he brought Billy on. Billy had one moment where he could have played. I don't remember who he could have played through. It might have been Werner in that moment, good movement, or Tammy, one of the two. As Haley underhit it a bit once Billy had come on. Shows you how much we miss Ziyech for sure. And yes, we definitely need a wing. A lot of people have been saying that. Daniel D saying, do you think Everton played well or were Chelsea just unlucky? Well, no. It's a thing of three things. Everton played well, Chelsea were awful, and Chelsea were unlucky because we still hit the post twice. As much as we were bad, we still hit the post twice. And Mason Mount should score from that moment where Pickford isn't in his goal. I expect him to do that. I expect him to score that. Ziyech didn't play, that's why we didn't win. It's not quite that simple. He didn't play against Leeds either and we won. But yeah, Jorginho has to stand now. Jorginho wouldn't have changed anything today. Havertz had the decision-making of 2019 Barkley and we can't use that as an excuse for that. I think we can. Because that thing costs you confidence and the whole criticism that he sees online, and the criticism started because of his bad performances, from not being fit because of the thing, and now it's all a combination of things. It all is. German horror show, they're both still young and still developing. Give the time. Oh yeah, for sure. But that doesn't mean today wasn't a horror show. You know, I'm not sat here saying, oh, get rid of Werner, get rid of Havertz. I'm not even calling either of them a flop, not by any means. But that doesn't change the fact that today they were both really, really poor. Right? Like, hit the post 3 times. Was the third time we hit the post? The Mount one over the top wasn't the post. That was the thing behind the goal. He didn't actually hit the post. Mendy, Everton played World Cup final. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Mendy needs to stop making these poor mistakes. Yeah, well, stop is a bit harsh, but yeah. Joseph, just going to call you Joseph. Cheers for the £10 donation, bro. Havertz needs to hit the gym with Reece. I mean, to an extent, I agree, right? But you don't need to be a physical monster to be successful in the Premier League. There's been plenty of players that have shown that. I agree that I think Reece just needs to learn how to shield the ball better in the Premier League because he's tall enough, even if he's not super strong, he's tall enough to use his body to do that. He just needs to learn that a bit more. And I agree. Like, don't get me wrong, just because I let Havertz off a bit more than Werner, he's 3 years younger. Big difference. Big difference, right? Big. Is Werner 23? I'm pretty sure he's 24. But why I let him off more is because of that age difference, you know? It's a simple fact. He needs to pick up the pace. Yeah, of course he does. Werner looked better on the right and on the left. Yeah, I agree with this. Samar Raju, late in the second half, Werner looked better. But people say he looked better because he ran past one guy once and then had a poor cross. If that's our expectation of him now, there's a bit harsh. I want the Lamps to remove Giroud and bring Andrew in also. Yeah. Giroud just wasn't good today. And this isn't saying Giroud is now an awful player. But it's difficult Giroud to find it. The one time even I, and you know I'm not his biggest fan, the one time even I say start Giroud, that's a shocking performance. That's just understatement. Frustrating. I don't understand these people complaining about Werner playing on the wing. All the complaints about in front of goal. Yes, exactly. And also, he played so much on the wing for Leipzig. Yes, different system, a lot of a 3-5-2 or a 3-4-3 or even a 4-3-2-1, replace the left inside forward. Not the same, but still a winger. Should you get me wrong, sir? The way Ziyech carries this team is embarrassing. I mean, but not against Leeds, like I said. What signings I need in January? A bloody winger. I don't care who it is, sign a bloody winger. Sign Ismail Sarr from Watford. If we want to play 30 minutes, buy someone. Because we need a bloody winger. To be honest, buy 2 wingers. Because we have 3 wingers at the club, and they're all 3 bloody injured. This is outrageous. You're really contradicting yourself. I wish you could hear yourself. I am contradicting myself. Please let me know in the comments what I'm saying that is contradicting myself. Mount could have played on the wing and Havertz in cam. Didn't have a cam, and I agree with you. Mount probably would have done better, but Mount is so important in the middle. I mean, it didn't work today, I guess. So maybe it wouldn't have made a difference. But Mount is more important in the middle than Havertz is in the middle. Like, Mount doesn't just do a creative job, which Havertz is meant to. But also does the hard work a bit, which Havertz doesn't. Our midfield makes Werner. He would make a deadly run. Werner. He would make a deadly run, but would never get the through pass. A deadly run. The way Everton played today, there weren't any deadly runs happening. There weren't any deadly runs happening. And yes, good runs are well and good. But if you see they're not coming, you need to try something different. Smash the like button. Yes, Chad. Chad Tyrone saying smash the like button. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Do smash the like button. We're awful. Nobody turned up except for James and Kante. Stop saying Kante was good. He wasn't. Really outrageous. Orange right in front of the red. What? Don't know what you're talking about, bro. Should have changed formation. Disagree. Sarr is not just a winger, but a strong winner. Would be a great pickup. Yeah, exactly. But I don't know if we think he's too expensive for a fourth choice winger. But would he be a fourth choice winger? Because at least two of our wingers seem to be injured at all times. So, yeah. Max of the first two men in the legend of... I have no idea what you're talking about. No room for racism, for sure. Don't know what you're talking about, but I fully agree. Are you okay? Kante was good. No, he wasn't. Stop waffling. He didn't stop any counterattacks today. That's his job as a DM. People need to stop thinking that Kante's job is just to play simple passes, but when Jorginho does this, he's not good. What? You people contradict yourself every time. But then again, fair enough. You might not be the same people saying it. Bring Allegri. No, first of all, spell Allegri right if you're going to say silly things like that. Yeah, Kante was average. I'll agree with that. But even that I think is a bit much. Haaland. Yeah, Haaland would be great, but we're not getting Haaland. Come on, boys. I mean, I would have said that about Havertz in the summer, so maybe we are. Who knows? But it's not gonna happen in January. Man, you hate Kante. No, I don't. I praised him like crazy against Leeds, boys. I even said he was my man of the match. You need to listen. Nah, I think our wingers' injuries have shown our vulnerability to adaptation with and without them. That might be the difference between success and underperforming. Yeah, I mean, fair. Get Son. Why not? Why is Havertz starting? Because we didn't have any wingers, bro. Who else was you going to start on the wing? You're going to start Tammy Abraham out on the wing or what? Come on, boys. Think about what you're saying. Think about it. Well, what else are you going to do? And don't come at me with play Emerson on the wing. No, don't. And don't start Tino Andrin. Like, be a bit smarter, B. Come on. 12th game without a loss, we will lose. Or was it well, actually, the defeat to Spurs doesn't count as a loss because it was on penalties. So actually, this was our 18th game. So, yeah. Kais to Cash, I agree with this. What was all this missed passes sometimes? I don't know who you're talking about, but yes, our attacking against good clubs is poor. Well, the problem is, we haven't actually seen our full attack. Christian Pulisic, in my opinion, he's no matter who we sign, no matter what we sign, Werner, Havertz, Ziyech, Pulisic is still our best player. Well, attacking player. He started 2 games. 2. So I think people need to let us off a bit, because if we ever at some point get everyone injured, get everyone fit, we'll annihilate people. We really will. I love that. Finding Timo. That's good. That's brilliant. I think that was good enough. We need better wingers. Well, no. We need some wingers because we didn't have any. Thank you, bro. Pulisic is literally our best player. Yeah, I mean, maybe not quite as good as like Thiago Silva and Kante, like in general. But as an attacking player, I definitely. And I was not playing simple pass. The amount of times he progressed the ball even more. Fabian, Kante plays 15 yards deeper, 20 yards deeper than Mount and Kovacic. So it's way easier for him to progress the ball forward because he has all of the space in front of him, while Mount and Kovacic had all of the Everton players in front of him. So obviously it's much more difficult for them to progress the ball. Honestly, people, think about what you're saying. Please. Charlie was in the back. Well, who knows when he'll ever play again. That's the problem, Lawrence. We don't have wingers, so why not adapt? Do you think unless you mean a 4-4-2 diamond, but do we have enough midfielders for that after we loaned out Barkley and Ruben? Because, yeah, you could play Billy as well. And then what? And then you only have Jorginho on the bench for 4 players. I guess you could use Andre then. But we've never played 4-4-2. You can't just jump to a system that you've never played. We play every 3 days. We don't have time to work on new systems and just try things. It don't work like that. Bring back Van Ginkel. He's still at the club officially. Who's your best player in Chelsea? Well, right now, Reece James. But yeah, learn to spell Allegri, bro. It's not that easy. So what did go wrong then? Don't know what you're talking about. You're saying what went wrong? Oh. Did you say something that I missed? You're just saying what went wrong then? Can't say it, bro. Can't say it, bro. Wasn't Werner's fault all the midfield didn't provide him with anything? I mean, that's true, but Havertz played as one of the front three and everyone's happy to criticize him. Why on earth is that? Werner didn't play striker. Werner was just as much in the wing as Kai Havertz was. So why is he getting absolutely all of the excuses, but Havertz is getting none? This is stupid, honestly stupid. But boys, I'm going to leave it here. I really do appreciate every single one of you that has tuned in. I really do. But, you know, smash a like, subscribe to Blues Fans TV if you haven't already, and subscribe to my personal channel, to which the link is down in the description below, or you just type Lawrence Vescoli into the YouTube search bar. I will almost certainly, there's a small asterisk, a chance that I might not do it because I'm busy. But 99%, I will be doing a live stream, even more in-depth analysis of that game tomorrow afternoon on my channel. So be sure to subscribe for that. Be sure to tune in for that. And let me just shout out our sponsors one more time. Get Football Manager 21 with a 10% discount if you type in the code BluesFansTV with a link down in the description. And if you fancy any of the Chelsea gear, any of the Chelsea kits, be sure to use the other link down in the description, and be sure to use our code BAG30 for 30% off, and that code is available until Sunday evening. So if you fancy anything, make sure you use the link and that code. That'd be massively appreciated. But yeah, guys, I'm sorry I can't get to everyone in the chat. I've missed the super chat. I'll get to the super chat. Vatsal Pandya saying it was a chemistry issue. Giroud needs players bouncing from him. Tammy Werner, Kai don't do it enough. We were sloppy and unlucky. Just not a day. I agree, but Giroud, whenever someone tried that with Giroud, whether it was Kovacic, Havertz, or Mount, or even Werner, Giroud always messed up the flick, always messed up the link-up pass, messed it up every time. But I do appreciate your donation. But boys, I appreciate all of you guys that have tuned in. Thank you guys for watching. Up the Chelsea. It's upwards and onwards. We go again on Tuesday against Wolves. We'll beat them and we're absolutely fine. We'll forget about this one. And then, hey, let's see where we are at the end of the season. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Up the Chelsea. And I'll see you when I see you.